Hey everyone, it's Dave Hakamaki and we're talking lighting. I've been a photographer for almost 20 years. I've been a speaker at photography conventions across the United States, as well as twice in the UK, once for the photography show and once for the Society of Photographers. As I said, I've been a photographer for almost 20 years. I have a home-based photography studio and I do photography full-time. I live in a small town in Michigan, and my population in my area, that would be my market, is about 25,000 people. I shoot high school seniors, weddings, sports, commercial, headshots, a little bit of everything. I have to be a generalist. And why are we talking lighting? Because lighting is important to me. In that small town, I need to separate myself from my competition. I need to look good, and that's what this program is all about. Staying fast, light, and mobile, and even saving a buck, but also trying to utilize equipment to your best abilities. I'm not here to try to sell you on any one particular brand or system. It's just equipment I use. It's equipment I like to use, and I use it on a daily basis. I'm just giving you my experiences, and hopefully you can see what I'm using, find out how I'm using it, and possibly implement it into your photography and make your lighting a whole lot better. So let's jump in. Let's go take a look at some lighting kits that are fast, light, and easy, that can make your life a lot better, as well as your portraits a lot better. Yeah, we're talking lighting, quick and easy lighting setups for photographers. Sorry I can't be there in person with the pandemic. I'm in the United States and I just can't get over there, and they're having this virtually. So hopefully we will be through this pandemic soon. By the end of summer, maybe next year, we can start meeting in person again and talking photography live. In the meantime, let's jump into some lighting. Okay, as a photographer, I go out on locations by myself and I'm carrying heavy equipment. I have a camera bag, lenses, and I need sometimes external lighting. If I shoot natural light outside, the sun sometimes doesn't cooperate. It's too much, too little, wrong direction. So I need to bring in external lighting. And I don't want to lug along heavy studio equipment. And that's a problem. I want to move fast, I want to move light. So what kits do I have? I've got two kits that I want to show you in this program that will make my photos stand out from my competition. This system right here, this is the Godox V1 speed light. Unfortunately, having this will provide you very directional light. It's like straight on, not the most appealing. I don't want that. I want directionality, I want to model, I want to shape, I want to create drama. So I need to get my lighting off camera. OCF, off camera flash. That's what we're going to talk today. Okay, the system I want to talk about first, my first kit, is Quick Light Fast. You've seen this before. It's the Godox AD200 Pro lighting system. Mine says Flashpoint. That is an Adorama branded Godox system. So we're talking the same thing. But Godox is at the expo, so go check them out. Check out this equipment I'm talking about, and hopefully it'll help you out with your lighting. But let's jump right into this. What is this? The AD200 is an external light source. It has a rectangular Fresnel head, kind of looks like a flash, but we can break this thing out off camera. If we use a trigger and a receiver, we now have this on the camera, this off camera, and we have off camera flash. Beauty about this is 200 watt seconds, light portable. It's pretty well built. You can add attachments to it, so we can put a light stand on the bottom, as you can see. The head's removed so we can go into different head systems. Nice thing is external battery that we can recharge, so we're not throwing away AA's. A lot of flashes out of this unit. But the thing I don't like about that, look at that rectangular head. It provides a very linear light to your subject. You got a lot of light fall off. It's very harsh in the center. I've got two of these. Look at the difference. We can attach these heads as I showed you. Pull the lever, snap it off, add on a different head if we need to. This is one of my favorites right here, the round Fresnel head. It's diffused, provides a round, pleasing light to my subject. Let me show you a difference of the rectangular head versus this and how it spreads out. Take a look at this. Here are the examples of the different head attachments for the AD200 Pro. On the left is the round head that I just showed you, followed by the rectangular Fresnel head. The final three are the bare bulb attachment, round head with diffusion plate, and round head with a honeycomb grid. As you can see, the round head provides a much more pleasing light pattern. It spills out nice and evenly to the edges, and it doesn't have that hot spot in the middle that the rectangular head provides. Quite a difference, huh? Yeah, I like this. I love that spread on this round bulb. You also saw in there my bare bulb system. And with these units, again, we can remove the heads, attach a different head to it. Now we have a bare bulb. This is what we're using when we're putting on a modifier. We can put on a softbox. We can put on a beauty dish. You can get a separate stand for this that holds this up with a Bowens mount. But creates a nice pleasing light source. It fills your modifier nicely. This light wraps that around and provides a nice soft, even light out of a softbox. For example, this right here, I've got a 36-inch collapsible softbox. What I did, I just had a shoot a week ago. I had to do headshots for a company. And they called me up and they said, we'd love you to do our staff. We want to do everybody all at once. So I did my normal questions. How much room do we have? What kind of, how many number of staff people? What are we looking for? Etc., etc. And of course, they said, we don't have a lot of room. I asked how much space, and it was a very narrow channel and not very deep. So that means we're not bringing in studio lights. There's not enough room for big studio lights, big background. So I had to go in with a collapsible background and two AD200s. I put these in soft boxes, one for a main, one for a fill. And I also brought this guy in, my flash, put it on my light stand and shot this at the background. It created my background light. So I had a nice spotlight on the background. Worked perfectly. Loved it. Take a look at how these turned out. Here's my lighting setup at the headshots. I had the two AD200s on light stands, main light to the left, fill light behind camera, and the V1 speed light on a small light stand pointed at the background as a spotlight. Everything was shot in manual power, and you can see there's a very narrow area in which I was allowed to shoot. Overall, the lighting turned out fantastic on these portraits. Good, pleasing light, nice directionality, and it was light and easy to bring in. Yeah, they turned out great, didn't they? I love how it worked. Now, I could have shot with this controller on there, and this transmitter has multiple groupings, multiple channels, so I can set up a number of these. If I want to have more than one or two, I can have 4 or 5 of these, and it works great. But in my case, two AD200s, background light, looked perfect. You couldn't tell that I was in a very narrow area. The staff loved them, by the way. So that's a quick and easy setup that I was able to bring in, haul out to my location, and I essentially had these two in my camera bag with my camera and lenses. This was in my camera bag, 2 light stands, a couple of collapsible soft boxes in there, carrying cases, and that was it. Portable collapsible background. I was able to haul it in 2 quick loads. Perfect, quick and easy for you, saves you a lot of time going out on location. Well, what happens if we go outside and we need to shoot on location? I also use this for on location. I use this system oftentimes on location, just like this, with the round head. Provides a nice round, pleasing light source. I can adjust it and angle it. And this provides enough light to give some dimension to my subject. Sometimes I'll use 2 if I want a background light or I want to have a main and a fill. Again, works great just like this. The nice thing about this round head, and again, if you notice, I got the round head on the V1, which is the flat speed light. They have the accessory kit that is universal between the 2 of them. They attach with magnets, so we can put on a number of accessories, such as a snoot, barn doors, grids, gels, etc. So I got 2 accessory kits, and I can do a lot of manipulation of my light with a very light setup. Okay, I'm on location. I just did a high school senior yesterday. It was snowy out. Okay, there's a lot of snow. Terrible light. It's just a wash. It would have been really high key. This young lad was more masculine, and he didn't want that light and airy look. I needed to modify light. So, brought this guy out, and I was able to use this to reshape the light and not have so much of that flat light that a snow cover scene does. I'm also trudging through snow, and I didn't want to haul along a lot of equipment. So this was perfect. Lightweight on a light stand, and it provided a lot of work. When I got closer, and I didn't want such a harsher shadow, I just diffused it out. And you lose a little bit of light here, but it provided a nice even light and dimension. Great lighting system. I have used 2 of these set up just like this on 10-foot light stands. And I've created portraiture that you could not tell I didn't have studio lights and softboxes. Let me show you some examples of my high school senior. Here's an example of when we used the AD200 without any modifier. This allowed us to travel light and fast, and we were hiking through the woods to get to this location. This portrait, we had to hike up a mountain, so we didn't want to carry heavy studio gear, and I was going by myself. So it was nice and easy to carry along a couple of AD200s to provide fill light, and it worked out perfect. An example of how we use the AD200 with the diffusion dome for close-up portraiture. This is an example of that. Let's look at some examples of portraits and how they turned out. Here's an example of when we're doing our portraiture with the AD200 with the round Fresnel head or the round Fresnel head with the diffusion dome. You can see how the light is nice and pleasing, and you cannot tell that we're not using a light modifier such as a softbox or studio lights. This allows us to go light, fast, and mobile. Those came out great, didn't they? Looks great. Could you tell I didn't have a big softbox and I didn't have all kinds of high-end studio equipment? Now, another thing I do a lot of high school sports and youth sports. I go into a gymnasium. Lighting's terrible in a gym. I need to modify the light and brighten everybody up so you don't have those dark circles under the eyes and the lighting coming down from above from the fluorescent lights, which are usually horribly tinted. I can come in and I'm going to show you. I use 2 of these on 13-foot light stands, usually about 10 feet up at about 30 degrees to light my sports pictures. Let me show you some examples of how these turned out. Okay, when I'm shooting in a gymnasium, I usually use softboxes with my AD200s. However, in this case, I wanted to try out the round Fresnel head with the round diffusion domes and see how they turned out. I put those on 10-foot light stands. So it's AD200s, 2 diffusion domes, and I triggered it with the Flashpoint V1 pointed up at the ceiling. This was shot in both manual and TTL, and I want to show you how it turned out. The individual and team pictures turned out fantastic. You can't tell I'm not using softboxes. The gym is well lit. The color balance is perfect. It's great because in this instance, I can travel light and fast and have some really great lighting for my gymnasium. That's pretty impressive, huh? I'm shooting with these, with the diffusing domes. There's no softboxes, nothing extravagant, but the lighting looks great. In these type of sessions, these are quick assembly line portraits that we just got to go bang, 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 take the photos and get out. We can't set up a lot of equipment. If I have a more extensive sports shoot, sure, I'll have softboxes, I'll have better lighting systems set up. But in a quick, easy one team setup, 2 of these, bang, I'm in, I'm out. Nobody has to have a lot of delays by me bringing equipment in and tearing it down. So those look great. But when we go outside, what happens when we need more light? 200 watt seconds isn't a lot of light. Yeah, I agree with you. If it's sunny out, well, you need more light. And I can bring along a studio light, which I have studio strobes, but sometimes I want to travel a little bit lighter too. Again, let me show you a quick little modification to this that will just blow you away. Okay, what do? we need studio lights. I can bring out a studio light, or I can get this $60 accessory piece. That's another accessory to this GoDock system. You basically remove the heads off of here. You attach it with the attachment pins. It just clicks into place, and all of a sudden, I am coupling two AD200s together. So, those of you math whizzes out there, 200 plus 200 equals what? You got it, 400. So we got a 400 watt second light. And we have the bare bulbs from the other system that we can just add into here. And I just want to align the bulb up correctly when I install it. And now I have a 400 watt second studio light for location. Again, a $60 US attachment. Pretty cheap. I'm not carrying a several $100 studio strobe that's dedicated just as that. I can modify this into this setup. Adds an extra couple pounds tops. The nice thing about it is these have modeling lights. 1, 2, 3 steps of modeling lights right there. Take a look on the front. Modeling lights on each side. So there's two 20 watt modeling lights. There's your bare bulbs that attach in. But you see this silver backing? Nice little touch. It's got a Bowens mount. You can put it on your softbox modifier. And this is what I was using the other day on my high school senior. 400 watt seconds. I can now start overpowering the sun. That's great for me to do out on location when it's brighter, or I just need to manipulate the light more than these individually. Great, love it. But, you know, why not just bring a studio light? Well, now I've got 2 of these out on location. I just add this. I've got now 3 pieces. Well, again, why don't I just bring a studio light? I have some studio lights that I'm going to show you another kit. They are the Interfit S1 backpack kit. Why don't I just use that? Well, they're a little more powerful, right? We did some testing on this. Got a Bowens mount. I can use it as a reflector. I did this. Let me show you a shot I did with this, and this is how it performed. Check that one out. That's pretty great, huh? That's where I live. That's what I get to deal with when I'm shooting outdoor on location. So this is what shot that image. And I showed you in that photo the before, you know, the pullback of the lighting setup with this reflector on, and end result. I wouldn't have got that with a regular light. Love how it worked. Perfect. So I'm kind of a techno person, and I wanted to see how this performs compared to my studio lights. Well, I've got a 500 watt Interfit light. This is a 400 watt second light. Yeah, there should be a little bit of difference, right? Took it in studio, fired these up side by side, put the reflector on, fired them at my background, and I used a light meter. Yep, got accurate readings. Shot each of them 5 times at full power, the exact same distance away. Made sure that everything was controlled. Guess what I found out? With the reflector, I had a little bit of difference. The Interfit one was a bit more powerful. There's these bulbs extend out, so it kind of spills out. You lose a little bit of light. But, you know, they perform like you would expect. However, when I put on a modifier, brought this guy out. The 36-inch QuickBox has a double baffle in it. So I wanted to see how this is going to perform. I put that on this twin head system. And I fired them again. And I thought I'm going to have some difference, right? This actually performed identical to my Interfit S1. So this, and it's basically the design. If you see, there's no spill through on the back. And this silver reflective back helps push the light forward. It created identical light to my Interfit S1. You might get a little bit of difference if you try something different, a Pro Photo or some other lighting system. But with my 500 watt Interfit light, this performed identical with both the single and double baffle. That's pretty cool. Of course, there's some light fall off by adding the additional baffle, but about a stop of light. But they were identical between the two systems in the same configuration. So now I'm confident bringing this out on location and shooting. using modifier, let me show you some examples of how that worked out. Here we're using the two AD200s in the twin head attachment with a softbox. We're providing nice studio quality light, nice diffused light coming out of the softbox. We're overpowering the brightness of the background in this case, and we're not having to deal with the light and airy look in my subject. Another quick look at the twin head system in the reflector, how we're able to overpower the sun and adequately light our subject. Again, this system is light, fast, and mobile. Okay, those last shots were done with this setup inside the softbox with a double baffle. I want a nice, easy light coming on him, good, soft transitions. It turned out beautiful. Now, we're talking a couple of pounds additional to create a studio light, plus these two systems. Light, easy, fast, I can go on location, and I am mobile. So that's one of the lighting setups I wanted to talk to you about and show you what a kit like this can do for you. So go check out Godox in their virtual expo, see what their lighting systems have. If you have any questions, I'm going to answer those in the question and answer period after, so write some down. So let's jump into kit number 2. Hey, we're back with kit number 2. This is the big guns. I'm not trying to push you to any one particular brand. I just want to show you 2 kits that I am using that make my life a lot easier. Okay, right here, what do we have? I have the Interfit S1 studio light. Again, it's a 500 watt second studio light, Bowens mount, TTL manual, just like the Godox system. Love this. Studio light capability, I can do a lot more with this than I can with the Godox system if I want to. The nice thing is I've got their backpack kit right there. Get a backpack. It's set up to take 2 Interfit S1s in there, your accessories and soft boxes right on the backpack. I just put this guy on my back, and I don't want to drop my S1 out of there, but you can see this goes right on the back with a backpack kit. I'm going to put this down because it's bigger, heavier. But this is a kit that I use if I need to go overpower the light fully. Or if I'm in an indoor location and I need to fill a bigger area with more light. This is where studio lights come in. Again, bigger battery, more power, does a lot more for me. Love having this kit out on location. Let me show you some examples of what I've done with this unit. Sometimes you just need more light and more control in a studio type situation. Here you can see all these Interfit studio lights. You can see it's a lot more harsh lighting conditions that requires a little more firepower, and I'm using the Interfit. Some of these were before I had the Godox system, but when you need a whole lot of power, here's a good example. Shooting in bright sunshine, we can do something like this. We can actually overpower the sun and actually get a really good looking portrait by using 2 of those studio lights. Here's an example of something that I did that was really creative. I had 2 Interfit S1s on light stands firing at full power. This was shot at 11 o'clock in the morning on a cloudy day. I overpowered the sun, I underexposed the sky, and what I did was I created a night scene for my senior, and he absolutely loved it. This is what you can do with high power studio strobes. How about that? I love the telescope one. Did you see that one? That was 2 of these firing at full power. I was at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was an overcast day and I overpowered the ambient light and I created a night shot. I dropped in the stars, of course, and all of the other lighting was this. Fired 2 of these at full power and I nailed it. The kid loved it. Everybody's been impressed with that shot. These also create really nice portraits. Let me show you some examples of some high school seniors that I work with using these units. Sometimes we need to bring studio lighting out on location. This is where we need to overpower the sun and brighten up the subject, especially if it's against a brighter background or if the sun is behind the subject. This allows us to bring enough lighting to lighten up a wedding couple from far away, especially a light background or a sunset background. We can also use it in larger spaces like a hockey arena or in a big outdoor area where we want to keep the light far enough away from our subject so it's not in the scene. Or in the case of indoor lighting, when you absolutely need control over the lighting of your subject. Pretty nice light, huh? I love these, and I like how capable this is. I can bring a lot of light in a backpack, throw it on my back. It keeps my arms free for carrying other equipment or opening doors, things like that. These kits, between the GoDock system or the Interfit system that I have, I can get another 600 watt GoDox light, studio light, and it would operate on the same platform as their trigger and receiver. I happen to have these. I've had these for years. You can see how beat up those buggers are. Look at that. And I mean, there's some scarring on there. The other one has some, electrical tape. You can see there's some cracks in the things. They've taken a beating. They've fallen over. But boy, I mean, they take a licking and keep on ticking. Love this system. Take a look at modifying your lighting so you can do a lot more with your lighting to separate yourself from your competition, okay? Now, why I like both of these units, both of them are TTL, both of them you can fire in manual, high-speed sync, the whole 9 yards. I love it. Get your hands on some external lighting, whatever brand it may be, but these are the kits that I have. They work great for me. Lighten your load up, make yourself more efficient, make your photos stand out. Stick around, we got question and answer time coming up right now. So let's jump to the question and answer period. I will talk about lighting, photography. You can throw whatever you want at me and I'll be there for as long as the questions take. So we'll see you in the virtual question and answer period. Have a great time. Stay safe out there. Hopefully in the future, we'll be back in person and talking lighting again. So have a great time at the virtual photography show. I'm Dave Huckemacki, signing off. We'll see you. Hey everybody, we're live now. You don't get to watch a video of me, you get to ask questions live in the stream here, and you can just ask your questions on the computer and I will answer questions that you might have. And we had a couple questions that came in during the program asking, one, did I have any before and after pictures? You could kind of see with the telescope one that was without light. I underexposed that shot just to make sure the sky was dark and you could see what the light was doing. But that was kind of a nice before and after of what the studio lights do on the GoDock systems. I didn't have specifically a natural light versus a off-camera flashlight. I guess I should have thrown that in there, but I know most people are pretty aware of the difference that it makes when you add additional light. So apologize for not having that in there. I guess I should have, and I will next time. So great comments. Thank you very much. Any other comments in here? We got, let's see. How many shots can you, David Higgins says, how many shots can you get from one set of batteries? Would that last for a whole wedding? 4. I've got the kits out right here to handle. These batteries are actually pretty robust. You can get probably around 500 or 500 shots. They're rated somewhere around 500. If you're going full tilt, full power, you should be able to get about, I would say easily 400. The batteries are pretty cheap. I have a couple extras and I have a multi-charger. So 2 sets of these have never run out during a wedding, and I shot all day. So good example of that. And then with the speed light, I have an additional light battery. You can see that it just punches out on the side. So pop that in.
I'm really never running low on batteries. I always take extras, but if you have a backup, you should get through a wedding day with no problems. Assuming you don't leave everything on, you're not using the modeling lights excessively, everything like that. So you should have a lot of wiggle room for usage. For the Interfit S1s, I shot a I was out for 6 hours straight on in a hockey rink. So it was cold and I was firing at probably half power, I think it was. And they were just starting to die out at the end of that 6 hour mark. So both kits are, I don't want to say you could get through all day of shooting with one set of batteries. I would always have an extra set as a backup, but you don't have to have 6, 7 batteries. But great question. I like that one. Any other questions here? Let's see. Godox makes a diffuser come with, to fit the bare bulb. Do you use that? If not, why, I've got the accessory kit right here. Um, this is the kit I got. Just happened to get it was one of the pre-configured kits. It has the bare bulb attachment to go along with the rectangular Fresnel head that comes with. That's a standard right here, and then these are extra, um, as well as the round magnetic attachment kits. I got this one because it was going to work better for me, and I know they've got a bunch of other accessories out there, but this is the kit that I got, and that's a Chris. That's a good question. On the bare bulb system, this is what I'm using for the bare bulb system. It's that attachment. This is a $60 attachment that you can plug two 8200s on the back, and the bare bulbs that come with the bare bulb kit just plug into the front. So this is what I'm doing, and then I just have a protector that snaps right on the front to protect the bulb. So I throw it in my camera bag this way. So I'm ready to roll from that point of view. Hopefully that answered your question. What was the adapter that allowed you to combine two? Oh, this is the ADB2 Godox twin head system. And again, it's a US $60. I'm not sure what your prices are over there, but it's going to look like this, and it has the modeling lights. Oh, let's not get too close to there. And modeling lights on the side, bare bulbs go on the front, and the 8200s go on the back, and it has the light stand attachment on it. So the ADB2. This program will be recorded and replayed, so you can go back, and I do have that information below when I bring those pieces out, so you can go back and refer to that. So thanks, Tim, for that question. Boy, I'm jumping around here. Holy moly, we got lots of I got a lot of questions. You know what I'm going to do? I got so many questions that we're probably going to run out of time, but I'm going to answer every one of those questions. And I will post this on a link of that on my probably on my Facebook page, after this, on my business Facebook page and Instagram page, so you can follow that and take a look at that and see what questions were asked. So I apologize if I don't get to everything. Generally shoot Annette. I generally shoot natural light, but I'm looking to start shooting outdoors with lights. This is a great system that I had. Photography students still learning about lighting. Great thing about this Godox system, it's cheap. Not cheaply built, but just inexpensive. So great for people to jump into. I'm okay in the studio, but don't have any experience using outside lighting yet. You're not going to be buying into a very expensive kit if you start out with one or two 8200s. You can shoot in those in manual. They also shoot in TTL. So you can play around with if I want to shoot TTL and then start getting into manual and learning a little bit more that way. That's a great opportunity for you to get into a system that's not super costly. You're not getting into studio lights that's going to break your budget, maybe do too much or too little for you, and it'll hopefully get you started in off-camera flash. But off-camera flash is fun. Once you get used to it, it's a learning curve, but once you get it, and you don't want to go back. So it's great to use. Um, yeah, you don't have any practical training, Annette. Yeah, I know that's a problem. Um, Lauren has a question. Hi, David. Have 8200s. Great recommendation. I struggle to find decent quality soft boxes that fit the S brackets. Do you have any recommendations? Also purchasable in the UK. Um, I purchase most of my equipment from Adorama or Hunt's Photo in the US, and I'm getting their Adorama Flashpoint branded products, and this is the Glow series. I'm not sure if that's available over in the UK, but any of the bigger names will have more robust systems. And yeah, you get the cheap stuff off of the discount places, and they just fall apart on you. You'll have to find the equipment suppliers, and I know Interfit makes their own brand of soft boxes and stuff like that. So you can check out the expo and get a better idea. So the people that will be at the expo should have better quality Bowens mount systems for you. So great, really good question. Holy cow, I'm just like getting bombarded with questions. That is great to see, people. Hopefully you like this program. What was the adapter? Let's see. Have you had a chance to play with the 100 Pro? No, I did not, because my feeling is the 100 is a little bit underpowered for what I am needing it for. So I have the 200-watt systems, and then I've got my older studio lights. And again, I can jump into a studio like the 600-watt Godox Pro, or I can just stick with what I've got right now. I'm going to use the equipment I got right now. I don't need to buy equipment, and for no reason. I got too much as it is in the storage room, so I'm going to try to get rid of some of that eventually. Jerry says, I just purchased a V1 and two 8200s. Do you think this would be enough for most occasions for weddings and outside portraits? Yes, that will be a great system if you have the two 8200s. And again, if you get this adapter, the ADB2, you can create a studio light out of this. So that'll be, again, a single light. But if you want to have off-camera directional light, that would be a great starting point. The only problem you're going to get is if you get into very deep backgrounds and you need additional light, and then you're ramping up into high ISO, really shallow depth of field, just to pull the ambient light. Yeah, it should take care of the majority of your shooting needs. I'm not sure where you're at. Let's see. Steve, thank you, David. Enjoyed your talk. I have just thrown out my old Interfit kit because it was decaying after so many years. Yeah, I beat up mine too. And I need a replacement system for my home studio, family portraits, etc. I was impressed with what you showed. Will these be more effective than some of the newer style LED alternatives? Absolutely. The LEDs are really coming on strong, but that's a continuous light source, and sometimes you're going to be running into higher ISOs, shallower depth of fields, or just issues of shutter speed. So I want that pop of flash that off-camera lighting can provide. That's kind of what I like it for. I have video lights. I use them when I'm dealing with more static subjects, or if babies would be a good example, and I just want to light it and not have the flash disrupting a baby or something like that. I don't do a lot of baby portraits, so I don't use video lighting all that much. But wow. Let's see. Michael says, Len Carter ships these, Lauren. Oh, thank you. Hey, that's great to know. UK distributor for Godox are essentialphoto.co.uk. There's in the comments, there's some good information helping everybody out. Love that. Thank you very much. One last question. It looks like we're running out of time here. Boy, we could go on for another half an hour or so. So hopefully I'll be over there in the fall or whatever they have the next live program, and we could just sit down in the lounge or off to the side, and we could just talk photography for as long as we need to. Do you only use Godox systems? Do you know that it's possible to buy two speed light modifiers with the modeling light that fits a Hanel speed light? I have 3 Hanel because they are super fast recycle times. I'm not familiar with those. Unfortunately, I have Nikon speed lights that I haven't touched in a while. And my studio lights are the Interfit S1s, and then the Go Dock system is what I'm using for quick, fast heading out on location. And you saw the snow portrait. We were walking through snow. It's not easy carrying heavy equipment, so that's where it comes out perfect. But it looks like we're pretty much out of time. I don't want to disrupt the next person coming up online. I think I'm at the end of the day anyway, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But I will leave it up to them to let me know when I am pretty much out of time here and we need to wrap it up for them. But if you have any final questions, fire away. Like I said, I'm going to try to get this stream. I'm going to copy this stream and answer those questions. A lot of interesting questions in here. I know I jumped around quite a bit. And thank you, Steve, for popping in. Hopefully we learned something about these. And again, all this was just showing you how you can go fast and easy. Because if you're like me, I have my home studio. I don't have a staff. If you have staff, that's great. They can carry equipment, but for me, I'm carrying everything, and the fewer trips and equipment that I can haul makes my life a lot easier. And these systems that have gotten so small that you can hold basically a pretty high power light in palm of your hand, that makes my life and everybody's life a lot easier to go. And what I do is I have a Vanguard camera bag, and basically I just in case, here's the camera bag right here, and you can see how right down here are two 8200s, my camera, additional lenses in there, extra batteries, etc. are in there, but I can put two of these along with two lens, a camera and a lens, an additional lens, the V1, and the accessories. I can pop everything in a camera bag, and that goes right on my shoulder. Then all I'm carrying along is the light stands and any other modifiers that I need, soft boxes or sandbags, things like that. If I'm on location, I need those type of things. But that gymnasium photos, are the way we do sports photos in here. The coach calls and says, you got 20 minutes to shoot, get in and get out. So what we did was throw the light stands out, pop the two 8200s with those round diffusion domes on the round Fresnel head, and two of those with the S1 pointed straight up gives perfect light for me. So I'm able to set up in less than 5 minutes. I'm tearing down in less than 5 minutes, and I'm shooting the rest of the time. And the coaches love me. I have a lot of contracts for leagues and high schools. And that's one of the reasons, because I'm not coming in with excessive gear and I'm not delaying my coaches and programs. So they love that I can go in and photograph and get out. They don't want to deal with me any longer than necessary. So that's a good advantage for having that. You can show off and say, look at how great my photos look, but also look at how quick I can get in and out and less disruption for your programs. So use that to your advantage. So any other questions, I will answer afterwards, but I appreciate that you taking the time to pop in. And I guess without any further ado, one last question. Batteries losing power in the cold? They've been pretty good. When I get down to zero, anything loses power in the cold. So, but I appreciate you sticking around, listening. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me through Facebook, Instagram, and I will answer those questions for you. But thanks much, everybody, and have a great day.